What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rear Naked Radio. I'm one of your hosts, Jamie Kilstein.
And I'm the other host, Drew Weatherhead, and we're kind of flipping the script this time. Last week, we were running a late episode for our friend Martin in Australia.
You guys love that.
Dude, everybody loves Martin. He's totally lovable. I was the wide awake one at, 10:30 at night or something like that. Yeah. And Jamie, being the old man that he was 12 hours past his bedtime. And
I was very sleepy. I was a little sleepy pants.
Karma
you're tired.
Has bit me in the ass. Yes. Yeah. My kids have been playing Sleep Terrorist for about the last 72 hours.
Oh, yeah. Tiny ISIS, we call them.
Yeah. You know how you get in those rounds where it's like, wow, this round's going on forever. And you look up and it's 2 minutes in. Yeah. And then you're like, 10 hours later, you're like, this round is still going and it's 3 minutes in.
That's your life as a father.
Yeah. Yeah. This last 72 hours is one long day. And I don't think I'm even at the afternoon.
Do you think they plot it? Do you think they're like, are you up? Like, let's go get them? Or do you think
they
it just
sync up.
Happens naturally?
Well, most of them can talk now, so I have to assume it's sabotage.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Do you want to know my advice to you?
Tell me.
Say good.
Yeah.
Say good. Now that I don't know if you guys knew this, guys, but Jocko posted one of my videos on his Instagram stories. So now I'm going full Jocko. Why don't you fucking get up even earlier, Drew? How about that? How about you do some push-ups? Oh, you're tired right now? Why don't you do some fucking burpees right now? I'll wait. Do burpees.
I don't like Jamie Jocko.
You're gonna be my Echo Charles. Oh, you ate a cupcake with your kid? Well, I'd fucking work that off then.
I like Sympathy Jamie better.
Nope, not anymore. No sympathy.
Negative.
I realize there's only so much military jargon that I know that when you said negative, I almost just went affirmative. And then I'm like, that's it. That's all I fucking know. We're out. I'm tapped.
That's right.
When he was killing terrorists, I was literally at fish shows being like, is this laced? Like that was the closest to danger I got, you guys, was smoking bad weed that I thought was laced. I smoked crack once. Did I ever tell you that?
Good.
There we go. By the way, I just want to, not on purpose. I didn't smoke crack on purpose, guys.
Oh my God.
Let me be an inspiration to you guys. Still, I smoked weed with some shady kid in high school, and I felt really fucked up. He was friends with someone I knew. It was a tangential whatever. And, but you're just at the age where if someone has weed, you're smoking that weed. And it's like if someone offers you sugar, you're not going to think about COVID. You're just going to fucking put that shit in your mouth. And I was like, I feel weird. And he just goes, yeah, there may be crack in that. And I was like, what do you mean there may be crack? There's either I just smoked no crack, or there is I am now addicted to crack. I need to go get more crack. I'm sucking dick for crack. There's no middle ground with fucking crack, you
First
guys.
Of all, that's a great story. But second of all, it's a great. How many people do you know have that story? That's an amazing story.
Oh, I'm not happy with it. I'd rather no one have that story, if we're being totally honest. Even though
we are, Jamie.
An artist.
In his defense,
what? You're gonna take his side?
Let me lay it out here.
All right.
For people who don't do hard drugs, that's an atrocious thing to do to somebody. But for somebody who not only does hard drugs, but maybe deals them and sells them, they're giving you a hell of a deal.
That is,
you think they're doing you a solid. It's not just pot. I give you a little extra.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, that's actually a really good point that I did not think about in my terror, where he's like, hey, I just had a woman sell her child for this crack, and you're going to complain that you got it for fucking free, you piece of shit?
Bitch move.
Bitch move. Yeah, it's a bitch move on my part. I love that I get tired at an appropriate time, at nighttime, and you get tired, I assume, mid-afternoon from candy crashes.
Yeah, no, I'm just in a perpetual state of tired right now. I don't remember not tired.
Oh, buddy. It's that's the thing with quarantine is the mood you declare yourself in, you're sort of just there until you snap out of it.
Interesting. That's
because there's no time, there's no whatever. So if you're just like days have the potential to bleed into each other a lot more.
Explain to me how you would declare a mood. Do you have to like wear a robe and get out on the balcony with a staff and be like Gandalf the White, declaring that you're now feeling semi-okay?
If I heard you right, I'm pretty sure I just accidentally smoked crack again. That's exactly what I saw the last time. Is there crack in this kombucha? Kombucha. I still don't know if kombucha is good for you because there's a lot of sugar in it.
It's a very confusing name. Like it sounds like it should be hippie, which means it should be okay, but it could also be filled with like a bunch of shit because it's organic, bro.
Yeah, so this is the thing with like food companies right now. Rob Wolf wants to come on the show. We should totally have him on the show. He has a new book out too. This is the thing with food companies is whenever there is a fad that is actually good for you, right? So being vegan, being keto, being paleo, whatever, companies will find ways to grab onto that and then still poison you, still make it poison, right? Where they're like, there's no sugar, so it's technically keto, so it'll be like keto chocolate snacks, and you bite into it and you're like, what the fuck's going on? This tastes too good. And then you look and it just looks like it's just a bunch of shit you can't pronounce.
It's the scientific words for crack.
For crack. Yeah, exactly. Like there's no sugar in it, but there is cocaine. And then suddenly you're fucking running a Wall Street bank and
hey, I haven't looked deeply into the keto diet, but I'm pretty sure cocaine isn't on the can't have list.
I mean, probably not. It probably has
sugar in there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it like speeds up your metabolism, so it helps you get into ketosis. I don't really understand ketosis. I'm just like, I can have butter. That's like all I know about keto. I mean, but that, again, that is how we will find the worst ways to be. See, I'm making this about health so people can learn from it since we are a fight.
Wonderful.
There are ways to be, like you would think, certainly you can't be an unhealthy vegan. You just eat vegetables. And then we're just like, we're going to make a bunch of weird bio crap. And it's like terrible, right? Vegan cheesecake. I mean, when I was hardcore vegan, I would tell people, and this is true, you can now have vegan baked goods. There were places in New York where I had vegan cheesecake that was better than regular cheesecake. But a lot of times they're just replacing the dairy with just a fuck ton of sugar. So you're like, this is great. And then you like fall asleep on the subway.
It's basically icing.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the processed stuff. Same with keto, paleo. I mean, people forget. Keto and paleo was essentially Atkins, and Atkins died from fucking heart failure. They were like, he slipped on ice. It's like giddy. Where people were just taking the buns off of McDonald's hamburgers. So they were still eating factory farmed horror shows. Yeah. They were like, I took the bun off, so it's Atkins. Or like, I'm eating chicken nuggets, so it's not like a carb. And it was terrible for you. So like, there are ways you can fuck up all of these diets, which is why the smartest route is just be smart and not eat shit. Like Michael Pollan, who's a great author, and he was like, everything you have should have 1 to 4 ingredients. Everything you buy.
Whoa.
Well, because like think about bread. If you look at the back of Wonder Bread,
eat more bread.
Eat more bread. Eat more bread. If you look at the back of Wonder Bread, there's like 50 ingredients. And
it's
like,
wonderful.
What? Yeah, you're like, what the fuck is this stuff? If you look at good sourdough bread, it's like yeast, salt, like that's it. And that's what it should be. It should be like 4 fucking ingredients. So that's my food spiel.
I'm still waiting for the first episode of The Biggest Loser to have the vegan person on there. 800-pound vegan. It's like, I can't help but eat more Oreos.
I know. Oreos are fucking vegan too. I mean, again, to stick up for my fellow vegans, there are a ton of great vegan fighters and athletes.
Is there a ton? Is there a ton, or do they just like pick out the few that from every sport? Because I feel like there's a ton of meat eaters.
No, that's a great point. That's so interesting. No, that's a great point. This kind of goes. We were talking about this
for sure.
We were talking about this with Keenan. Were we talking about like confirmation bias?
Sure. Yeah.
Right. When I was a vegan, I would have my list. So fighters, you got like the Diaz, Jake Shields, fucking, I would say Mac Danzig until he started losing. Then I was like, oh, I don't remember anyone else. And same way, I did
Poor
the same
Danzig.
thing. By the way, I did the same thing with Venus and Serena Williams.
Oh no!
I was like, the Williams sisters are vegan, and then I was like, oh, it's Venus. Like that doesn't. That's not as cool as Serena. But yeah, you're right. I think because the stereotype is you can't be an athlete. I mean, fuck, even Carl Lewis was a vegan. Like, they're one of the star Lakers right now is a vegan. Like, but you're right. Yeah, I think it's actually because it's so rare they stand out.
Yeah,
Go,
exactly.
oh, how cool is that? But then you go, oh, but literally everybody else eats.
It's the antidote to the argument that you can't do it, but it's not the answer to like everyone should do it.
Well, and I actually even wonder if we should be comparing our diets to professional athletes, because the instinct is to go, okay, I want to get healthy. I want to lose weight. Who are my favorite athletes? They're going to be my motivation. I remember, dude, there's this fucking guy at my boxing gym who's like the most ripped person I've ever seen. Like, he makes The Rock look like The Rock doesn't take steroids.
Looks like the Jello or the pudding.
And just and so he was like, follow me on Instagram, bro. And I was like, all right. I go to follow him on Instagram, like, big black dude, literally looks like he has like an 18-pack.
Yeah, wait, how many followers does he have?
It's about the same as mine, like 10,000. He's like a big deal in AZ.
Okay.
And doesn't have the check. It's good. It's cool.
Lost a little bit of respect. Keep going.
But every post of his is pizza, going to Hardee's, going to McDonald's, and he's like, work hard, play hard. And I was like, I cannot follow you because if I play hard, I get fat, very fat. I had like bread last night and I woke up and I was like, I'm gonna throw up, and I just looked so fat and bloated. And there are certain like professional athletes where, yeah, if you're training 2 or 3 times a day, like Gary Tonon's a great example, right? Like,
he's a trash monkey.
He can eat In-N-Out burger, he can fucking drink, he can do all this shit because he's training like an animal. But if you're just doing regular person jujitsu, if you're just running, you can't be like, well, The Rock has 2 pizzas on his cheat day. And it's like, yeah, but The Rock's full-time job is to be jacked.
His full-time job is burning calories.
Yeah. It's to be The Rock. Like,
every minute he's awake, he's burning hundreds of calories.
Yes, they are getting paid to be ripped. And lots of actors have talked about that, where, you know, when someone gets like really in shape for a movie. I think Ryan Reynolds talked about this after maybe Deadpool
or something.
Yeah, where he was just like, oh, it was torture. He's like, I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't, you know, because, well, yeah, to look movie star hot, it's not just like you can like take out bread for a week and go for a jog.
Maybe that's why that movie went rated R. Maybe there was no swearing in it before they had to put him on the diet.
That's so funny. It was literally, yeah, they just wrote a clean script.
It was PG.
He was just having fucking tantrums where he's like, you fucking cunts.
Okay, we've cut it down to the cleanest clips and it's still rated R.
That's so funny. So yeah, so I think the gist with food, you guys, is because I don't want to go the other end. What bothers me about some of my friends on the left is when someone is really unhealthy and say you're trying to help them lose weight because they want to lose weight or whatever, they'll be like, well, that's fat shaming and we shouldn't, you know, everybody's beautiful. And everybody can be beautiful and everybody should be respected. But at the same time, you can't say that talking about health is like a fat shaming thing, right? But what they do have right is that expectations, especially for women, are far too fucking high, and most of them are unrealistic in Hollywood, on Instagram, and shit like that. So the bottom line is, like, we should all strive not to look like what we think Instagram or Hollywood wants us to look like. We should all strive to be healthy and happy, right? And like,
right. Can I interject here just for a sec?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be that guy that's gonna say, is everybody?
I'm already mad.
Is everybody beautiful? Really? There's some ugly motherfuckers out there.
Beautiful inside.
Yeah, like, we got to put an asterisk besides beautiful and explain what we mean, because
you know who the coolest
I've been
chicks,
to peopleofwalmart.com.
You know who the coolest chicks I've dated were?
Tell me.
Girls who were ugly, and then got hot because they had to do what I did, where it's like, oh, I better get funny. So whenever I meet like a hot girl who's also like weird and funny, I'm like, what happened to you in high school?
You were fat, weren't you?
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, same thing with guys. Like, I'm not saying,
oh,
like,
yeah,
I'm not saying you can't be hot and funny. Like I'm not being sexy, but a lot of times,
Literally, Jim Gaffigan's entire career is about his eating.
yes, yeah, yes, exactly. Where it's like, all right, well, I better fucking work with what I got and just get funny.
Hot pockets.
And by the way, I wasn't funny in high school.
Mm.
Like I would like steal jokes from TV shows and shit like that. Like I was a hacky fat kid. It took me till 38 to get semi-confident, and still all my videos are about how much I hate myself. Someone asked me today, they were like, where do you get the ideas for your videos? And I'm like, oh, the demon voices in my head. But the hell that tortures me is where I get. Why? Where do you get them from? Novels? Where do you get yours from? You fucking.
I just press record and then I black out and wake up and see what happened.
Yeah, wake up, I feel a little lighter. I feel like I got some shit off my chest, and then I mean, dude, the videos are usually of me self-destructing, and all of them are recorded before 8 a.m. Like, what the fuck is happening? What happens to me at night?
Don't you wake up in the morning at like 6 or 5 or something and go and run and visit with bunnies, and then you go and self-destruct by 8?
No, but here's the thing. I have to do that. I'm like the serial killer. They have claw like strapped up where it's like he has to go see the bunnies now so he doesn't like murder the guards. Like that's what it is. That's why I have this routine happening. I've started Real Talk because of fucking Jocko. I'm like, I got so excited. The last 2 days I woke up at 4:30. I've usually been waking up at like 5:30.
Did you take a picture of your watch?
No, I should have. I don't have a watch. I'll just write it in like fucking pen. So yeah, anyway, there's some little mental health tidbits for you and some food stuff. We want to get to some of your guys' questions.
Yep.
First I would like to say hello to any new listener. We usually have guests. We got some really big ones coming up. We've had some really good ones in the past. If you guys are new to the show, we've been very specific. Or we've been very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Beautiful.
We've been very well
check out the YouTube
and beautiful. Yes. So on the YouTube, we've cut it so it's just the interviews, and we very purposefully, that's the word I'm looking for. We very purposefully have made all the interviews evergreen. So we aren't asking about like, what are you doing in your fight camp for this fucking fight that happened 2 years ago? It's all about mindset, story, all of this shit. So if you want to see, you know, Carlos Condit, if you want to see Master Ken, like all of this shit is up on youtube.com/Rear Naked Radio. But today you guys have really been enjoying it and asking for more of these episodes. We're going to do a solo episode, talk about JIT stuff, answer some of your questions, and then we'll make this fucking solid hour and be out of here.
Hells yes. All right. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 questions from Instagram.
I have one which is like kind of a video wonky thing, but I still think I can probably give some enlightenment. If you have like a really good opener one, go for it, but if not, I can do my kind of dorky one.
Okay, let's do a good opener one. So this person, I couldn't actually write down their name because it's all numbers and letters. It didn't make sense, but this person,
that's your stalker.
Yeah, okay, so
it's your stalker who's coming to kill you.
My FBI agent.
Yep.
He wants to know, since he listens to the podcast every week and knows that your favorite move is the guillotine and my favorite move is the armbar.
Okay,
what our secret details to our favorite move is?
Oh, so my poor guy just really got cock-blocked. My guy's question was guillotine device.
Well, we'll jam them together. So the FBI and your guy wants to know.
Listen to me. I came up under Marcelo Garcia, and I don't know if it's guillotine or guillotine. And I've gotten shit for both, so I literally just switch it out, and sometimes I say one and sometimes I say the other in the same conversation. It's my move.
You go do that in front of nasty Nate Harris and see how he reacts. He will literally start steaming out of his ears.
Oh, I made fun of him. I did a seminar at his school. And I literally, because he was like throwing a little fit about that. And what's the one he hates?
He hates
Guillotine.
I think so. Yeah, because if you're not French, you shouldn't give it the French accent.
Right. And I was teaching it because I'm better at it than him. And then I went guillotine. And then I was like, fuck you, Nate. And everybody laughed. All of his students took my side.
You mean your students?
My students. But also, like, I have that kind of craziness where I've been doing stand-up shows, and on stage, I'm like, are you guys laughing because this is funny? Or you think that if you stop laughing, I'm going to shoot the place up because I'm having a mental breakdown on stage? And they're like, little both.
We're here for the chaos.
I literally said that. Yeah, I said that in Minneapolis a couple weeks ago. Okay. Yeah, give your armbar. I actually didn't know your favorite move. So is it armbar from top? Is it armbar from guard?
It's armbar, period. There's armbar from everywhere. That's
how
part of the reason why I love it.
That's how I feel about the guillotine. All right. So, yeah, hook up your details, dude.
Well, okay. So we could go long and deep on this thing. That's what she said. But what we're going to do instead is focus on one of the most underrated details of the armbar that you may or may not know. And it could fix your entire game when you think about it.
Going short and fast. That's what the sad
short and fast. Ha ha. Just like I like it. All right. So think about the armbar in your brain right now. Just think about the human arm. 3 major joints: the wrist, the elbow, and the shoulder. You have to control the first and the third of those before you can attack the second. It makes sense when you think about it, but most people will just focus on getting wrist control and then throwing their leg over the head and trying to bend the elbow off of whatever they got, bend it over their leg, lift their hips to bend. But what they're not paying attention to, and what often loses the armbar, and what will conversely make your armbar much, much tighter and harder to get out of, is if you focus on getting your hips as close and as tight to their shoulder as possible. So get shoulder control by jamming your hips into them and pinching those legs around to make sure that shoulder can't escape. Then you connect the wrist to your chest, and then you don't even have to lift your hips at that point. Just bending a little bit is going to flex everything through the elbow. So
yeah,
hips to shoulder.
I actually want to add to that, because what you guys may not know is that my second move I'm known for is a defense, which is the Hitchhiker Escape.
Sure.
And when I was a purple belt, maybe even a blue belt, Marcelo Garcia and Paul Schreiner were like, you could do a black belt DVD series right now on just that one move. And I can tell you that the ones that I struggle to get out of are the ones where they're doing that shit, or they're manipulating my wrist and thinking less about my elbow. Because the way I think about defense in general, and I'm going to try, I usually show this. I don't think I've ever described it on the show, but I think this will help. Which we got to have a battle, Drew, the armbar versus the Hitchhiker.
EBI overtime, set it up.
Yeah. Which is, well, the way, and by the way, the reason my Hitchhiker is different and works so much more, again, I'm like the highest of level people, and I can tell because they keep trying to armbar me. But I move my body so much to get the fuck away from them. I'm not just moving my arm. Yeah. And so that kind of goes into my advice. And this is really for everybody listening, but especially for the white and blue belts who are freaking the fuck out and like don't want to tap. A lot of times we just try to get the full limb out, right? So you're like, I have to get my entire arm out. And so you kind of like jerk your whole arm out. That's what he said. And really what you need to focus on is just like the piece of the puzzle that's in imminent danger. Let's just get that out, you know? So when I hitchhike, I throw my fucking hips up and start walking like big. But as I'm doing that, I'm not trying to pull my whole arm out. I'm just trying to get that elbow out. And then once that elbow's out, now I can move around, fuck around, blah, 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 blah. But I think that, and same with like when you're escaping like the heel hook, right? It's like, I could try to rip my whole leg out, or I could just try to free my knee line.
Yeah.
Free your knee line, and you're like, okay, I'm still like being controlled by him. There's still going to be a fight, but I'm not going to go home with a broken limb. I can't give a ton of details without showing it on the guillotine, but what I can say that
what about the guillotine?
On the guillotine, you can go fuck yourself. But on the guillotine, people at other gyms have started calling it the Killistine, but I think that's so dumb. I feel like there's a better way to do it.
Killistine?
That's it. That's definitely what it is. The Gilistine, everybody. That's so dorky. It's so good. I'm gonna do that now because Gilistine actually sounds like I'm trying to be tough.
You're
And
right.
I hate fight names that try to be tough. My first fight name when I did a Muay Thai smoker was Jamie Millhouse Gilistine.
I remember. Yeah. Got the tattoo to prove it.
Yep. And then oh no, that was Tofu Warrior, which I also did.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's so lots of people when they get the choke, they fall back on their back and they start like lifting, right? Because they saw some like roided out 5-foot team alpha male guy do it once, and they're like, "Oh, I can do it." What you have to do, and this always feels weird. It always feels weird when you're passing. It always feels weird is like getting close to the person who's trying to fight you. But when you are doing this choke, let's say you're on the bottom, you need to get in as close as possible. So you're almost baseball sliding into them on your hip instead of falling back and lifting where their head can pop out. On top of that, whether you are doing it from the top or the bottom, you need to be compressing their head with your upper body. So if I'm on the top and I just have the choke and I'm pulling it, like I also, like let's say I'm in half guard and I grab it as I like long step pass. I want my ribs crushing his cheek to the mat as my arm is cutting into his neck. If I'm on the bottom, I want my chest on his neck, pushing it into the choke. So we have to do something. We have to control them so that they don't just like pop out of it. And that's how you do it, using your upper body as much as you can. And what do you lose if you fall on your back? You lose that pressure on their head. You lose the upper body. But if you stay in tight, you still have like your shoulder and your chest like pushing their neck into the choke, and they can't fucking move at all.
So would you say that the finishing mechanic, or maybe even just the controlling mechanic, is more of an ab crunch than a shrug?
Yeah. Well, I do the Marcelo finish. So all I need to do, I'm so tight like on them where like my chest is on the back of their head, my hip is like I've almost baseball slid like so we're hip to hip.
For those of you who haven't seen Marcelo do this, I would suggest go and watch his ADCC match against Crone Gracie. He gets so over top of that guillotine. It looks like he's gonna pull his head right off his body.
Yeah. So really, by the time I get those body mechanics, it's not like an arm in where I have to think about crunching or anything. All I do is lift my elbow over, and they're tapping before I even. I mean, that's the thing with submissions too, is there should be such control in general that like, and you lock them on so aggressively instead of just like that. They know they're in trouble before it's fully locked on. You want them to go, oh fuck, before they tap, as opposed to just like daintily throwing your arm over, and then they're like, I don't really care. And then sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't.
This reminds me of a bit of a kerfuffle that happened in the local scene here years ago, where somebody who's...
I always want to hear about Canadian infighting.
Canadian kerfuffles?
Dude, Canadian infighting is a killer band name.
Dude. All right, log that away.
Canadian infighting. Oh, love it. All right,
we're gonna hit the folk scene hard.
Oh my god, that's right. Me and you still want to start a band together. All right.
This one guy in the local scene who's very well known for attacking legs, breaking ankles, really powerful right now, fast submissions on the legs.
It's just a moose.
It's just a moose. He gets up on this leg in the finals of a local tournament, and the guy who knows he's going to do this, he gets it on him anyways, and he's one of those guys who's like, fuck it, I'm in the finals, he's going to have to break it, and he breaks it.
Yep.
So it's like, you know,
what's gonna happen.
This is what happens when you decide this is the hill you die on. You still die. So he loses the match, but his coach, who ran the tournament, was livid that this guy broke his student's ankle. It's like, you need to, and he got on the phone with the coach of this guy and said, you need to teach your student more restraint. You need, you know, we got to go to work next day and all this stuff. And I'll never forget the response. He said, we're not playing patty cake out there. Like, these moves are meant to break the limb. Limb got broken.
We're not playing patty cake. What a grandpa thing to say. This ain't your daughter's patty cake.
It's like you saying, like, putting stuff on daintily. Like, who does that in tournament?
Okay, so here's where we kind of disagree. I don't agree with yelling at the guy because, like, here's the thing. There's ego on both sides. There's ego on, I'm going to break this guy's fucking leg. there's ego on, I'm not going to tap. Like, both of them are responsible. Oh, no, sorry. The guy who didn't tap is ostensibly responsible.
He's 100% responsible. I was 2 feet from his foot when it blew apart.
Yeah, so this is where I disagree with you shamefully. So you're correct. It was the guy who didn't tap's fault. And again, to the guy who didn't tap, he's not a victim. There is as much ego there. Because one of the things that's fucked me over when I competed, I forget if I told you this, but Drysdale, when I made it to the semifinals of Worlds, the finals of Worlds, because I got second. After I won, I like demolished all the other matches beforehand. And after I won the semifinals, I did the fucking thing where I hit the mat, which I've never done before. And because I think Worlds was like the first time, like my first tournament, I got bronze. And then, yeah, it was the first time I got to the finals. And that week was crazy for me. I was like flying out to do a big comedy show. My grandma died the day before. And I never think of myself as a competitor. I always put so much pressure on myself. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm going to lose. I'm going to shit my pants. They're going to put it on YouTube. Comedian tries jujitsu. Like, my head goes bonkers. And so I was so excited to get to the finals. And so I hit the mat and I'm like super psyched. And then in the finals was the only time I ever tapped in competition, I think. I'm so tired. We start and I'm like, this guy's good. He looks like a fighter. I'm a dumb comedian. Then somehow I ended up in like X guard and I go, oh, this is a position I'm in. I can win. And as I'm having that conversation, he like dives for some rolling Kimura that I've never seen before. No one's done it to me. And I just tap. And Robert Drysdale, came up to me and he goes, be honest, and I'm not mad at you. He's like, you were really happy with second place, weren't you? And I was like, so happy. So happy. I can't lose now. And so where that ties into your story is I've never, and I think this is because I never wrestled, I never played sports until jiu-jitsu. I don't have that win at all cost mentality. I'm not trying to get into the UFC. I'm not whatever. So, you know, the way Sean Williams teaches the Renzo Gracie leg game is it's all about control. That's the most important part. I'm pretty sure Danaher teaches it the same way. So if I, even in competition, I don't know, man, if I have some, and now I'm sure Sean and John would be like, break it. But if like my career's not on the line, if money's not on the line, I'm not going to let it go. But if I have a really fucking tight grip, I'm going to crank it. I mean, this happened to me once in competition. I had a guy in a fucking arm bar from guard, which is not a move I do a lot. And I like, he wasn't tapping. And like, I looked at him and I just went like really slow. And like, it popped, but like, I didn't break his fucking arm. It probably was like just ligament shit. And even that, but like, I looked at him like, do you want to do this? But I wasn't like, rah, and like ripped it, you know?
Yeah.
But again, if you're at the highest level, man, if you're at like on EBI, if you're on whatever, yeah, you got to rip that shit. And then the other person has to tap as soon as humanly possible. I'm just saying, if that's me, I'm going to give a little bit of a pause and look at him like, dude, I'm going to break your fucking leg. Like, do you want to get out of this and walk?
Yeah, there was probably like 5 pregnant seconds between when he was tight enough that he shouldn't tap and when he just sort of like grunted and looked him in the eye and let him know he wasn't going to tap, kind of thing.
That's on him. That's fucking on him then. But yeah, I did, just to say, like, I don't really have that killer.
I'm trying to remember if I've ever put somebody's limb out in tournament. I don't think I ever have.
Dude, this guy was.
I've choked people out, but
oh, that's cool.
That's
different. This guy was walking around with a goddamn sling later, like with his wife and baby, and then they looked at me like I'm an asshole. Yeah, I guess I'm a hypocrite.
You should have told them we're not playing patty cake out there.
We're not playing patty cake, you little fucking.
Definitely not now, Mr. One Arm.
It's shocking that patty cake wasn't followed by some kind of like old timey homophobic slur. I'm like, anyone who says patty cake, you know, yeah, sissy. Dude, there's a guy. I shouldn't tell a story because a person might listen.
There's a lot of guys out there that could think it's them.
We don't need to be even veiled homophobic. Like, guys, we're all rolling around with each other's nuts in our face. We don't need to declare that like it's not gay.
Can we talk about nuts in our face on Instagram the other day.
I feel like we need an intervention. We need to have her on the show to talk about it. Fucking our friend Aaron has these goddamn spats that are the Michelangelo,
the David statue. So picture the David statue, but just from the hips down.
It's a little dick. Aaron is a little dick.
Yeah.
And
she's just working, doing her snatches with her barbell, and like
she's doing doing her snatch with a little dick.
Right.
What's happening.
This is happening. This is Instagram. This isn't censored. I was scrolling down and just, I was not ready. It was disturbing. All of a sudden I'm watching this girl with a dick lifting this thing up and down. I'm like, I just was not ready for that.
Listen to me. I'm as progressive as the next guy. I've talked to Aaron about feminism. I've talked about mental health.
Look, I want to see a guy with a dick doing that. I don't care if it was a girl or not.
I defend trans rights. By the way, if it was like a big old dick, I might even feel better about it. But just the little fucking wiener, Michelangelo wiener, it's jarring. Let's just say that. And Drew DM'd me and was like, "Man, I feel bad, but I
feel like I should be supportive, but I'm just disturbed."
He's like, "This is upsetting, right?" And then I wrote back to him. I was like, "I almost wrote you the same thing earlier because the thing is, I love Aaron so much. I'm flipping through and I'm like, oh, Aaron, oh, what the fuck is that? There's a little dick. Why is there a little dick?" And again, it wasn't. You know how many memes I've had of that big black dude with like the dick down to his knee?
Mm-hmm.
Funny every time, you guys. Maybe this is me being whatever the ableist term against small Michelangelo stone dicks are. But if you're going to show a dick, make it a proud dick.
Well, let's run it backwards. So what's the statue that doesn't have arms but just has boobs? Do you know that one?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it's another famous statue. Anyways,
it's a Titty Man.
Yeah, Titty Man. So let's assume that somebody out there makes a rash guard for guys to wear while they're doing their snatches, and it's just got a big old set of boobs on them.
No, we can't do that dumb game because I feel like I saw some like fucking dork in like a rash guard that was like one of those like painted like bikini tops, and he's like, "Ew," and like
that's also stupid, but it's
that's also stupid.
It's not as disturbing as seeing just like booby chested guy lifting shit. That would be disturbing.
That is true. Well, I think like here's the thing with the little dick versus the big dick. We're going deep on this, you guys. Big dick, you're seeing that shit on purpose. You know what I mean? Every time I see a big dick, it's fucking a lady. Because I'm watching porn, right? Or I'm jerking off. When you see a little dick, you just go, "Oh, I'm not supposed to see this. This is nasty." He doesn't know his little dick's out. You know what I mean? No one's like flaunting a little dick. You're like, this is a mistake. And so that's the thing. When I see Aaron's thing, I go, ugh, because it's like you walked in on someone in the bathroom.
Forgot a dick out. Oh no.
Yeah, like she forgot to get that shit hard before. Anyway, we should stop.
We really went deep on that. Okay.
Well, I realized it because I'm like,
it's a good point though.
Why am I uncomfortable? Because like, yeah, I watch porn. I see dicks. Like, I like Aaron. I'd be cool if Aaron had a dick. I'm cool if she doesn't have a dick. And then I was like, that's why. Accidental dick makes me think that I shouldn't have seen it.
That's
so
it. I go, accidental dick.
I go, yeeks. But what? Like, I've seen the statue in Italy, and I was like, not having it. I don't like it.
I know, right? I've never seen the statue move.
Yeah, but
makes
like
it more disturbing.
I'll watch a gangbang with a bunch of dicks, and I'm like, yeah, we're doing this. Like, that's fine. So anyway, next question. Or was that the next question? Was it what's your thought on small dick versus little dick? Because
that covers actually the next three. So I only.
All right, guys. Well, that's the show.
Our pathogens are on it. Yay. So. This one from St. Jean Paul says training partners say that he's getting predictable. So he's training and his partners are telling him that he's getting predictable.
Fuck your passive aggressive training partners. How about that for an answer?
I think they're trying to be helpful. Like,
is it?
I think so.
Predictable sound. That's so cold. It's not like, hey, you're being kind of spazzy or whatever. It's just like you're so it's very pedantic sounding is what I'm saying. No, obviously there are good ways that can be.
Let's assume the best. So obviously the question is, what do you do about a game that's getting predictable?
Yeah, I mean, you quit and you go to another school and then you play your same ass game. You keep guillotining people. Okay, so a couple things.
The Rolling Stone answer.
So if I have, oh, you said stone, and I thought about that little dick again. The if it's like a specific move. So for me, I keep playing the guillotine, and that's why I have it from weird ass places where I want everybody to know what I'm good at, because then they're going to try to defend it, and then I'm still going to get it. And now I'm getting
that
it.
Is the hardest flex,
right? Like that's what it is. We're like, they know, they go, I know you're going to do this to me. And I go, I am going to do it. And oftentimes they'll fuck it up. I mean, it forces me to be more innovative, but like then they'll shoot a shitty shot because they shoot the shot being, oh, I don't want to get guillotined. But what happens if you don't knock me over? Like you're getting guillotined.
yeah.
So one thing, like, yeah, if it's a move, don't fucking listen to them and just keep going. Because here's the thing too. At Blue Belt, my guillotine game sucked because everyone knew I wanted it. I was giving up my back. I was holding on too long, but then it turned into something good. So I don't want to completely give what seems like the easy answer of like, evolve your game, do this, blah, blah, blah. Yes. But also it could turn into something cool. Now, anytime you're doing something that keeps failing, right? If they're like, if you keep catching them and stuff and they're like, it's getting predictable, it'd be like, yeah, so is you tapping, dick face. But what you have to do when you're developing a game is you have to constantly be self-correcting. So if you're trying the same thing and it's not working, you need to start going, why isn't it working? And then you can still play the same game, but get fucking better at it, right?
I feel like what I got out of that most is our band's first single has to be Shoot a Shitty Shot.
Shoot a Shitty Shot. Shoot a Shitty Shot by Canadian Infighting.
Yes.
I'm in.
That's the EP.
That sounds great. I'm moving to Australia, unfortunately, but it's
more on that later.
No more on that later.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious answer is like, it's always good to play new things, you know, and to kind of suck at new things where I'm mainly a top guy. And when I went to 10th Planet, I was like, I should probably start playing some guard and like learning some of this, you know, like I'm a small dude and my guard's garbage. And that takes some loosening of the ego, because you're going to suck and you're going to get smashed. But like, yeah, I do wonder why all your partners were very aggressive about that. It's like, are you just catching them in things or are you losing to the same things? I don't know. But yeah, I think that's like all the advice I kind of have on that.
Yeah. I mean, I would take it in two different directions. You covered the one really, really well is, well, I guess you kind of covered them both, but I'll just put them in different words so it sounds like I thought of it.
I almost spit out my water. Yeah.
But wait until you have a mouthful.
That was good. That's what she said.
Okay. So the one direction you can obviously go, like you're saying, is to change your game, which is the hard direction. This doesn't mean it's wrong, especially if you're early into your journey through the belts. If you're in the first few belts, there's going to be a lot of exploration. And generally speaking, you'll find one good niche that is the one that works for you the most. And you stick to that until it gets predictable.
Oh, that's a great point. There were times, like, I thought I was going to be a half guard guy at some point. You just see shit and you're like, oh, that's cool. That's going to be my game. And then you kind of try it and it fizzles away and you're like, oh, I'm not good at it.
Yeah, that was me with Barambola. I thought it was going to be
a Barambola guy?
I was going to. And nobody around me knew it, including the person that was training me. So I just like, I had a really shitty version of it. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm going to stop.
I mean, dude, well, I was the opposite. I had fucking Gianni Grippo teach me how to do it.
Sure.
And I'm just not good at it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I could get under okay, but like, I mean, that was an example of one of the best in the world at this move showed it to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's cool. I can do it. I can teach it really well because Gianni taught me. But I'm like, I don't really do it. Because it just doesn't fit into and that's what's so beautiful about jiu-jitsu. Like, you're figuring out, what is my personality through this art? What are the things I'm good at? If you look at my body type, if you wouldn't assume I have the game I have, really.
Because of the big dick?
because of the big dick. You'd be like, well, he can't play on top because his dick's gonna be flopping all
They
over the
get
guy's
caught in a
face.
berimbolo for
And
sure.
then he's gonna fucking his dick's gonna get caught in the belt, and like there's gonna be a hole. He's gonna get kicked out of the gym. It's gonna be a fucking issue. But like, it's just when I'm like whenever you see small guys, you go, oh, they have a good guard.
Small dick too.
Guys, if they have a good guard, they got a small dick. That's I do not have a good guard, and I can fuck.
It's not big dick energy being on bottom. I'll put it out there.
That's actually a really good point.
So anyways, that's the one thing is you can try to change your game, which is hard but doable, and maybe it might be beneficial. Maybe you could find where you're even better or more comfortable as you do that. The other option.
Oh, actually, sorry, one more thing to add to that. If your ego is getting in the way, here's a way you can do both. Is I'll do something where I'm like, I'm not going to guillotine anybody. And like, I'll be pulling off new moves and I'm doing guard stuff. And then someone pisses me off or starts bringing it. And I go, all right, well. And then I
Weapons live.
Yeah.
Click the safety.
And we are a go. Affirmative.
We are live.
Oh my God, so funny. All right, sorry. What was your next?
Yes,
thing?
sorry. So the second thing is like
why
you're
do we
saying,
have
you can
guests? We're so good at podcasting.
You can sharpen up what you have, because it's even if it's predictable, it doesn't mean that it won't work. So every single move in jiu-jitsu works when it's done right,
correct,
perfectly at the right time. So then you just need to hone that, not only that skill, but the game that supports that skill to a point that people can't help but fail.
Yep. Great fucking answer. Great ansser. All right.
Okay. Next one. Oh, this is a good one.
Wait. I have one more. Question. Sorry. This just came in. It's weird.
Over the wire.
Yeah, the email. It's just
Telegram.
It's isis@isis.com. I think they would.
Wait a minute
about that. It says
sketchy about that.
Dear Jamie and Drew, I'm writing as the head of ISIS. If you are not familiar, here are some links. ISIS is a very successful terrorist organization. We have been in the game for a while and are interested in sponsoring your show.
Oh, interesting.
You see,
usually sponsors don't reach out. This is really cool.
Yeah, this is really cool. You see, not to get too personal, I know most people just want to talk money, but we live in caves. Ha ha ha. It's not a joke, really. That's
a weird one.
And it says, recently your other sponsor, OriginMain.com.
Love
use
that
promo
sponsor.
code. They're so good. Use promo code Rear Naked for 10% off. That's weird that they would plug. Anyway, has been murdering our staff. In the time of COVID, as you know, staff shortage is hard enough as it is. What makes it harder is when your terrorist staff members are being murdered by men who work at Origin Main. You see, he keeps going like you see with a comma, like very dramatically, like it's like a, anyway, you see, all we want to do is kill infidels and torture your people in the West, but we cannot do it if the total badasses at originmain.com keep murdering us.
So wait, are they asking if we want to be sponsored by them, or are they just complaining that they keep getting murdered by our awesome sponsor?
Okay, so
what? Sounds like a lot of bitching right now.
What appears to be happening is they think that we're helping Origin Main so much that because we're helping Origin Main be so successful, Origin Main is then using all of that energy and money from the people buying to go kill terrorists. So like essentially what they're saying is if you support our sponsor, you guys, by going to originmain.com and using promo code Rear Naked, you're helping kill terrorists. So I guess their move is they're like, well, we can't beat them at warfare. Clearly. So what if maybe we got some of that Rear Naked Radio big dick energy and we sponsored them instead? They're offering us, this is kind of wild, $1 billion an episode.
Oh, and weird.
Look, it's tempting.
Let's not get too hasty here. So, I mean, what's their track record like? Do they kill like a lot of people, or is it just like, around holidays?
Most of the people that they kill, most people that are killed in the Middle East are pretty much killed by them. I'm also going to go and say that, like, I don't know if a terrorist organization is going to be the most trustworthy. With
good point. With like PayPal and stuff.
Do you want to give ISIS your PayPal?
I don't think. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay.
I mean,
you know,
but also $4 billion for 1 month. Seems like we could kind of do whatever we wanted for the rest of our lives.
Or it sounds like they don't understand what money is.
Oh yeah, I don't know what the currency.
That's a lot of money for even a small nation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but again, if they're not like, they don't have to pay electricity.
They only have to do it once.
They don't. I mean, really, they just have to buy guns, and like that's all black market shit.
True, it's much more affordable over there, I think.
All right, guys. Well, I guess go to ISIS.com.
You know what? They put all the effort in putting in. That was quite a question that they sent in, like 6 paragraphs worth of question, a lot of preamble and lead up. But I think that it just came down to a lot of bitching about our sponsor killing them. All
right.
Well, send a simple reply like, "We're not playing patty cake out there.
We're not playing patty cake, you bunch of fucking sissies." And just for the record, we can trash that letter all we want, but it really does sound like the person was improvising and making that up off the cuff, and we should give them a little bit of fucking credit for being hilarious. Guys, originmain.com. I just got like 300 new followers from their supporters because Jocko. Dude, okay.
Wait, I thought you meant from ISIS.
Not from ISIS, not just a bunch of terrorists.
Just a bunch of threats.
Do you remember? Oh yeah, I'm very Jewish. Do you remember the video I did for Jocko where I said that they kill? At some point, I said they kill people at Trader Joe's.
Yes.
And Jocko reposted it with a little Jocko joke. He goes, "Watch out, Trader Joe terrorists!" And I was like, oh, I made Jocko pull a little Jocko joke. Oh, now I have.
It's such a Jocko move that the one repost is because you mentioned him killing terrorists.
That's amazing.
Word to the wise. It's the same with Joe and elk meat. Like that'll be the repost.
I didn't tag Jocko, so it just got to him.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, maybe did you hashtag terrorist? No, I think he follows that one.
Well, pal,
tracks them.
That's how he tracks them. Yeah. Guys, ISIS, I know we're not taking you on as a sponsor, but I guess a little advice is stop hashtagging your whereabouts terrorists. Right?
All they do after their post is the hashtag terrorist and like a GPS coordinate. It's very
that's not smart.
It's lazy.
That's not smart. I now have 10,000.4 followers.
Holy shit.
On my verified account. All right, last question, and then I gotta go eat some avocado toast, son.
All right. I got one quick question and one doesn't even need to be answered question from Kevino.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. So the quick question is, how tall are you? By Brian Lucasi. How tall are you?
I'm refusing to answer that.
Are we
so much taller than
overall height or just big dick height?
Yeah. Dick wise, guys, again, I can fuck. I'm only 5. I'm 5'7".
5'7" dick. Jesus.
5'7" dick, you guys. I ride around like it's a pogo stick.
All right, I am 6'1".
Gross.
On a good day. Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Yeah, but I feel like even if I was 6'1", my stress and my posture would just naturally bring me back to 5'7".
Here's the thing: I train with someone who's 6'8", and everybody is less than 2 feet when they're on their back. So
that is true. That is true. That's what she said.
Take them down.
All right, last question.
Last question is this is from Kevino, one of our longtime listeners.
What's up, dude?
He says, I hit a reverse Kimura on my little niece in the pool this week. Am I a monster?
I mean, that's for sure a crime.
Well, I mean, as long as you didn't actually hold her under the water with it, I think you're in the clear.
That's smart. It's the same guy from the tournament. Bitched and tap. What? But guys,
she was trying to verbal tap. She's underwater. You horrible monster.
Whether you killed a child, whether you're on the run, thanks for supporting Drew's DVD series because it's a great one, or online series, whatever the kids are doing these days.
We got a sale coming up right away too. So if you missed the last one, this will be the last one of the summer. This is coming up. Right. It should be about a week after this releases.
So follow him at because_jujitsu. Follow me on Instagram at the Jamie Kilstein. You guys, I also have a weekly self-help podcast. Oh, so the next 2 interviews I'm doing, there's not a ton of it's kind of some crossover. I think if you guys haven't checked it out, you'd be really interested. I mean, today's episode was with a professional wrestler, which is pretty cool, who's in the WWE. We talk about gardening and drugs. Let me get the fucking names correct. So I heard this guy on Kyle Kingsbury's podcast, and he was a Navy SEAL, friends with Tim Kennedy and all those guys, and he's a shooting instructor, and he just seems like the sweetest fucking guy in the world, and he does all these courses, and I really want to talk to him about gun control and also about guns as self-defense, as someone who wanted to completely ban guns, and now someone who's going to like train how to shoot with Tim Kennedy, Jeff Gonzalez, and he's fantastic. And then I'm also going to interview the next week Bao Najuan, and he directed ESPN's 30 for 30 on Bruce Lee. So
that was good. Everybody was talking about that.
Yeah, so he's the director of that. So I want to talk to him about like representation with like Asian Americans, and obviously talk about Bruce Lee, misconceptions to Bruce Lee. So my podcast is called A Fuck Up's Guide to Self-Help, free on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. You can just go to afuckupsguide.com. We have a Patreon to keep it afloat. Yeah, that's what I'm plugging.
Away we go. All right. Well, thanks again to our sponsor, Origin Maine. Check them out, originmaine.com. Promo code We're Naked. Help us show the love, all you pathogens, and we'll see you
we won't
next
have
week.
a show if we lose them. Let me just be very clear.
Well, it depends on how legit the ISIS thing is, but we'll keep you apprised.
Oh, that's right. Oh, actually, you know what? If we lose them, we're going to be rich. We're going to be terrorist rich.
Good.
Which is good. Why'd you say yes to the terrorists? Good. That's why.
You're using it wrong.
Is that not what you wanted?
Damn it.
All right, guys. We love you so much. Thank you so much for the fucking support. I'm literally getting DMs from you guys every day about how much the show means to you. And like that shit does not go unnoticed by me and Drew. So we love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Aloha, peace.